Hey, little guy, what's wrong? There's someone down on the ground. I'm calling for help right now. Just stay with him. We cut away to a dense jungle. Explorers are hunting for the 200 items required to reach the lost city of El Dorado while dodging cursed traps and greedy mercenaries. Then the feed refreshes. Now we're looking at a viral post analyzing a vaccine rollout, warning that the government authorities have ulterior motives and cannot be trusted. On the surface, you just watched an emotional short film, an action movie clip, and a piece of political commentary. They seem entirely disconnected. In reality, they are all running on the exact same unseen, highly optimized infrastructure. Writers call them narrative tropes. We often think of them as simple cliches, the love triangle or the girl next door. But in the digital economy, they are the unglamorous, repetitive blueprints that manufacture engagement on demand. These tropes function as an invisible utility network. They provide the reliable, underlying operating system that keeps the attention economy running. To accurately map how influence works online today, we have to peel back the surface content. The actual message matters less than the rigid narrative architecture delivering it. This architecture persists across decades and platforms because it relies on human biology. Tropes operate as a recession-proof psychological technology, exploiting basic cognitive reflexes that never change. We can see these mechanics in action by looking at the technical requirements of an AI storyboard generator. To produce an emotional puppy rescue, the system follows a set of mechanical rules to guarantee a response. The visual constraints are mathematically precise. The camera height stays at exactly 1 meter above ground. The lens must be a 35 millimeter at f1.8 to force a shallow depth of field, warm cinematic tones, and soft background blur. Inside that frame, the generator requires a continuous main character blueprint. The puppy must appear identically in every single scene to artificially anchor the audience's emotional resonance. This perfectly lit, unbroken framing follows a calculated formula. By maintaining seamless continuity and keeping the vulnerable subject centered, the media bypasses critical thought and strikes directly at audience empathy. You aren't watching an organic story. You are looking at a mechanical assembly line engineered to efficiently extract a guaranteed reaction from the viewer. These formulas are bulletproof because they rely on centuries of ingrained cultural conditioning. They possess immense historical brand trust that dictates our reactions before we can even process the facts. Take the folklore of the black dog. For centuries, these creatures held a dual role in the cultural imagination, either as a protective church grim guarding a graveyard or as a dark omen of death. Modern cinema actively exploits this deeply rooted trust. We saw this in the critically acclaimed 2025 horror film Good Boy. The film weaponizes our inherent trust in the loyal dog trope. By subverting that expectation to create psychological terror, the movie successfully manipulated audiences, winning unprecedented acting awards for its animal lead. A trope functions as a cognitive shortcut. Because centuries of cultural conditioning dictate our reaction, our brains accept the premise instantly. In fiction, these shortcuts make for effective entertainment, but the stakes change when these triggers are deployed at scale in public discourse. Researchers are training machine learning models to detect these triggers in text. This matrix tracks how trope categories correlate and overlap online. The data shows they operate independently as modular tools, deployed one by one to shape how we perceive the news. For instance, the hidden motives trope is specifically weaponized in anti-vaccine discourse. By framing public health decisions as secret agendas, it instantly manufactures skepticism of any authority figure. Similarly, the defend the weak and wicked fairness tropes are used to frame complex immigration issues into simple, highly emotional binaries. Outside of fiction, tropes act as weaponized psychological tools. They serve to oversimplify complex societal issues and rapidly drive polarization across the digital landscape. With generative AI, the cost of manufacturing these tropes is plummeting. Meanwhile, the cost they exact on public discourse and objective truth continues to rise. Navigating this ecosystem requires an active audit of narrative blueprints. We have to look past the surface content to identify the structural scaffolding operating beneath it. The digital economy relentlessly rewards narratives that human biology cannot ignore. Because these cognitive shortcuts are effective, the demand for them repeats year after year. Now that the underlying blueprint is visible, will you still fall for the story? Let us know what tropes you've spotted in your feed in the comments below.